Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to go through my Spotify wrap with y'all. I haven't been on Spotify in months. Back in like August or September, it's December 2025, I got rid of my premium subscription because I found out they were running ICE recruitment ads. So I cut the cord and I haven't looked back since. But I saw people were posting on Instagram that they were going over their Spotify wrapped, and I said, oh, right. Now that it's the end of the year, I need closure. And I need to just kind of see where my head was at in the last year. I'm honestly to the point where I just want to log off. I want to go off the grid, go offline, and just go off the earth because Earth is ghetto.
Earth is ghetto. I wanna leave. Can you beam me up?
Or actually like the last 9 months, because I got rid of this probably in September, I want to say, or August. Since then, I've been using, and I mean using very lightly, Apple Music. I've only really listened to a few songs on there. I haven't really dove into the app in and of itself. And I need to do my research on them too to see if they're running ICE ads. I don't think so, but I think the only app that isn't really, or one of the only ones, are Tidal. But honestly, I might go back to LimeWire. I'm in this point in my life where I'm so sick of like streaming, so sick of these companies changing their terms and conditions, raising the prices, and not giving us better quality service, music, whatever whatever app it is, and it's just driving me insane. So I think I'm just going to go back to analog. But back in 2012, I live in Brooklyn, New York. Hurricane Sandy hit us really bad in my house, or in my whole neighborhood. We had 9 feet of water in my house, and I lost so much of my physical media that I was, to this day, it just gives me, it makes me makes me so sad. Kind of have an idea of what my wrapped would look like, because if it's a testament to what I've been watching the last year, I've been really leaning into nostalgic content, at least in my home. Like, I still watch new movies and stuff like that. I just saw Wicked, which that's a whole other conversation. But yeah, I just been in my feelings the last year because of the downs and the lows that I've had. If you're new to my channel, I've had a very, very much tumultuous and hard, difficult, traumatic year of 2025, and my nervous system has just been shot. Throughout the day, I'm in survival mode, so when I do have some time to like relax, reprieve, or just get my mind off of things, I go to the familiar. I go to things that I remember that make me feel safe, warm, things that kind of like anchor me. And like right now I'm rewatching Dawson's Creek. I rewatched Girlfriends a few months ago. I watched Martin with my niece the other day. I'm going to show her, like, we showed her all the Thanksgiving episodes of like the Black sitcoms, Martin, Family Matters, etc., etc. I've rewatched Smallville. I'm rewatching Vampire Diaries. I'm reading a book about the Vampire Diaries, holding on to pieces of myself while everything is a bit unstable right now. So that's what I think my wrap is gonna look like. But let's dive into it. I have my iPad right here, so I'm gonna screen record and go over this with you guys and see what it do. My second time doing picture in picture. I hope I'm doing this right. So let's see. I love the Google Dolls. I was rewatching Charmed and they were at P3, and then I was just, yeah. Anyway, here we go. 19,035 minutes of music, 13 days. That's pretty weak for me, but I've honestly been disassociating a lot this year, so that kind of makes sense, I guess. But tastes like yours can't be defined, but let's try anyway. You listen to 324 genres of music. 320. How many genres of music are there? And I know Spotify categorizes their genres very differently. Like, they have bedroom pop, pop rock, pop, you know what I mean? There's just so many different like categories within one genre umbrella. My top genres: pop rap, post grunge, soul, ambient, oldies. I know they have very different benchmarks, but my top genre is pop rap. That makes a lot of sense. I'm listening to the 2010s, when I was back in the club at Marquee, dancing on tables at Taj, dancing on tables at Limelight, dancing on tables. Like driving from my house to the L train to go to work, listening to Cubby in the morning or War of the Roses, and they sprinkle some Missy Elliott in there. Be like my T-Pain, my Ludacris, my Nelly, not really Nelly, but you know what I mean. 50 Cent. Speaking of 50 Cent, did you guys watch the Diddy documentary? Oh my God. I feel like I need to revisit my whole entire young adulthood and childhood with all of that stuff that I saw. Because I knew these things, but I didn't know these things. But that's off topic. Let's continue. Pharrell, Neptune, Busta Rhymes, Chingy. I think that's categorized as pop rock. Post grunge, that makes a lot of sense because I've been listening to a lot of like Daughtry, Creed, Foo Fighters, Everlong. I love that song. Hoobastank, The Reason, Creed with Arms Wide Open, One Last Breath, Stained, It's Been a While, Bush, Fuel, the Goo Goo Dolls, like I said. Again, rewatching Charmed, they have so many throwback artists on that show where Piper owns a club called P3, and then every week she has a musical guest where these artists were actually on the show and featured on the show. So Goo Goo Dolls was one of those artists. Ishwala was another artist. Dave Navarro was another artist that was on the show. But yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like it kind of intersects with what I'm watching versus what I'm listening to. And as someone who went to Catholic school for 12 years, I'm not even Catholic, but for other reasons, and I went to a predominantly white school, I listened to a lot of post-grunge when I was growing up. And yeah, again, I think I'm just going back in time where I felt like, and post-grunge is like emotional catharsis in some ways where I just can like blast my music. I live in a very old building and they're concrete walls. You can't hear anything outside the four walls. And I could blast this music so loudly, especially on the weekends or when I'm like something bad happens and I just want to just blast them with arms wide open. Soul, that makes a lot of sense. I'd like to take baths. I'm the Meredith Marks of my own house. And I love to take baths. So I play a lot of soul, like to kind of calm me down, especially after such a chaotic day when I'm calling all of these institutions to kind of figure out like all these things, finances, jobs, bills, blah, 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 da, 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 da. So at the end of the day, I just want to relax with my cat and just listen to soul and just kind of vibe. Soul allows me to like let it all out. I get to cry. It's emotional anchor for me. And ambient music, that also makes sense. Also, when I got Willow for the first time, she hid from me for 3 weeks, and I went on Jackson, I forgot the cat guy's name on YouTube, and there are so many other YouTubes and TikToks that were talking about how to get your cat comfortable in a new home. One of the things was to play ambient classical music for your cat. I got pheromones, like plugged it into the outlet in the bathroom and all over my apartment, and just left Willow here by herself. And if I was running out to run errands or if I had to go to an interview or whatever, and she would be here, and then I just left her alone. So I played that for a good like month straight, no other music than that, because I didn't want to scare her. And eventually she came out after like 3 weeks. So I think that's where the ambient music's coming from. And the oldies, I am an older millennial at 41, but I grew up with a lot of older Haitians around me, and they love the oldies like Sam Cooke and Aretha Franklin, Temptations, Prince, the Beatles, Elton John. I love Elton John so much. Dr. Feelgood by Aretha Franklin. I know that's probably on a playlist somewhere. For soul, it's probably Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. There's some Tyrone on there with Erykah Badu, DJ Low Down, Loretta Brown. I saw her play in a concert once at Brooklyn Bowl years ago. Jill Scott, India Arie, but let's continue. Age is just a number. Matchbox 20. I love Matchbox 20. Let that spirit take you in. All right. Your listening age is 43. I'm 41. Since you were into music from the late 90s, you got decades of taste. Yeah, it's basically what I thought it was going to be. You listened to 2,263 songs this year, but can you guess your number one? My number one song, probably something on Cowboy Carter. Yaya or no, Sweet Honey Buckin'. Your top song, Sweet Honey Buckin' by Beyonce and Shabuzi. You listened to this song 44 times. I'm so glad that I was able to see Beyonce this year, even though I didn't have the funds, because I have amazing friends. And my friend Mairead, who I have known since I was in first grade, I'm 41 now, so do the math. She surprised me. So yeah, to prepare for the concert, I was just, in my feeling. Top songs: Sweet Honey Buckin', Pink Pony Club, Chapel, Red Wine Supernova, Chapel, Bloody Mary, Lady Gaga, and Yaya. That actually makes sense. The Chapel I'm surprised by. I like her album. I just don't think I'd listen to it that much. But I did hang out with my NYU friends a lot over the summer, and usually I'm in charge of the music. And I play so many different genres of music, 324 genres, as you can see. That Spotify said. I don't know if that's a real thing, but let's go with it. And I think that's when I played a lot of Chapel, like for those weekends when we were at the Jersey Shore. But I do like Red Wine Supernova. I like Chapel's range. She got range. And Pink Pony Club is just a very like emotional song. So I could see that. But I was with the gays. So that's probably why. Bloody Mary, that's probably because of Wednesday. I wanted to go to Monster Ball, but I wasn't able to afford $800 tickets. So I did listen to a lot of Gaga this year. And Yaya is self-explanatory. Guess who joined on the fun? Willow. You like Beyonce too, right? All right, let's continue. Top songs. We made playlists of all your favorites. Thank you. Let's add to library. Actually, I don't know. I'm not using this app. Forget it. You listen to 7 albums a year. Yeah, I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. Long live the album. I hear Bay. Top album, Cowboy Carter. You listen to this album. You listen to it 806 times. And that's on that. I love Cowboy Carter. Back there, I have 2 of the vinyls, the Beyonce one and then the other one. So that tracks. Your top albums: Cowboy Carter, Songs About Jane, Alligator Bites Never Heal, Bad Bunny, and Kendrick's GNX. Okay, Cowboy Carter's, I'm a Beyonce stan. Songs About Jane, I have loved this album for 20 years. When I studied abroad in 2004, I had a friend that I lived with we lived in like a apartment style, an apartment in Florence that had about like 6 rooms and balconies and 2 kitchens and all this stuff, like three bathrooms. And my friend Asia she made me mix CDs of other artists that I never listened to before in my life because she's such an audiophile. And she made me like Led Zeppelin, and one of the albums was Songs About Jane, and I only had those albums to listen to for those months while I was studying abroad because I had a CD player. It's just in my psyche at this point. That album is a comfort album. When I'm in my feelings and my emotions, I just want to like belt out loud. Adam Levine, I don't know, that album just evokes something in me that I cannot explain. Bad Bunny, that's just a bop. And I love what he does for his community in Puerto Rico, and especially the Super Bowl. So I'm getting ready for that. And then GNX by Kendrick Lamar, GOAT, enough said. I did listen to a lot of Kendrick after the Super Bowl, which was in February. And he was on the main stage, which is interesting because Bad Bunny is number 4. And he's going to be the Super Bowl headliner this year, or in 2026. You listen to 1,325 artists. Top 5s were extra special: Teddy Swims, Lady Gaga, Chapel, Beyonce, Doechii. Who claimed the top spot? I know it's Beyonce. Don't blame me. Oh, there's a race to the finish. January, Beyonce. May, Beyonce. October, Beyonce. So maybe I got rid of it in October. Beyonce is your top artist. You spent 1,355 minutes with them, which makes you a top 0.4% of a global fan. Your top artists: Beyonce, Teddy Swims, Doechii, Lady Gaga, Chapel Roan. Let me explain my Teddy Swims, please. Let me explain. And here's my argument for Teddy Swims, okay? I just like his voice. I like his vocal range, to be honest. The music, like the lyrics and everything, it's not for me. But his range, his music kind of lacks like pulse and emotion. But I just really liked how he can just, he could belt. That's the only thing I really like about him. I wouldn't pay to see him in concert or anything like that. So don't come for me. Song Lose Control. it's not for me. But I'm talking about like other songs on the album that he has, like the one with Giveon. Like I love that one. Doechie's album just slaps front to end. It's the one of the best albums of this year. And I really got into Doechie's story when around the beginning of the year she performed at the Grammys. But yeah, I'm in a point of transition in my life, especially after this last whole year. And I heard Doechie's story where she worked at like a grocery store and she got fired or let go from the job. And then she kind of had more time to dive into her creativity as a rapper and a writer and a songwriter. And I thought that was so inspirational. Story just grabbed me because I just felt connected to her in that way because I'm going through something similar in my life right now. From the grocery store to choosing herself and the path she wanted for herself is just very inspirational to me. And I wanted to dive into her music to like hear her whole evolution through her album. Gaga is, Gaga's up there with me, but Beyonce's all the way up here. But Gaga's also up there. But I really wanted to go to the Monster Ball. I couldn't go. My friends went, but the tickets were so expensive. They were like $900 for like the cheap seats, and I couldn't go. So I just listened to Gaga like all year long, all the time, and especially Bloody Mary because of Wednesday. Also because of my niece. She hasn't watched Wednesday because she's scared of some of the scenes, but she likes the Bloody Mary song. So when she comes over here, this is like her little escape from her parents and her grandparents. So she comes here and we blast music like K-pop Demon Hunters, and we blast a lot of Bloody Mary so we can do that song, the dance that Jenna does from the first season. So that's probably why Bloody Mary is one of my top songs, is because of my niece. That was surprising to me. I really thought Queen would be up there. I listen to Queen like every day. But again, I didn't really listen to my Spotify as much this year as I normally do because I just been heads down in survival mode and trying to figure things out where I haven't allowed myself to like release. So when I do it, it's usually something I'm just very familiar with and nothing that's like brand new. Like I don't know 6-7. I don't know. Wait, there's more. Teddy Swims. Let's not get into that. Which club do you belong to? I don't know. Your role is the collector. You often save music to your library, build a large club collection. This is true because, again, I play all the music at usually all of our friend events, or if I'm home, I'm usually playing the music. If I go to someone's house, I have playlists for everybody. Everybody. Let's continue, shall we? You're in great company. 20% of global listeners are in your club. Woohoo! Your club favorites: Doechii, Black Eyed Peas, Beyonce, Doja Cat. Black Eyed Peas. I listened to Black Eyed Peas a lot in college, so maybe that's why, because I listened to a lot of like songs that when I studied abroad, and Black Eyed Peas was a big part of that. It was 2004, so you understand why. And it's just 2025. The top songs. Okay, this is interesting. We pulled some of your files just in case. This is also kind of interesting because they have all this data on me. I'm going to turn off the music because it's messing with my headphones. New Year's Day, listenings report for Christine Michelle. The day you rang in the new year with Beyonce, January 1st, 2025, which is also Haitian Independence Day. With Beyonce, gospel, and a sunrise encore. You welcomed the year with a sunrise to sunset marathon. Beyonce's Cowboy Carter ran in heavy rotation through the night. Gospel from the Brooklyn Tabernacle broke the dawn. An evening brought a parade of pop, R&B, and old school anthems. 382 minutes. New Year's Day filed under Pop Marathon, New Year Reset. Okay. And my most energetic day was January 25th, 2025, and I know what that is. So I had planned to have a Kamala party if she won the presidency, and that did not happen, an AKA party. So I still had a party, a game night, and that was the night I had all of my friends come over to my apartment, about like 30 of us, and we played games. And I had a playlist that I was working on for months. That makes a lot of sense. The day you let game night, DJ your cardio routine. Afternoon kicked off with Crash Into Me, damn right, Dave Matthews, and Daryl Hall and John Oates. Never looked back. Beyonce, Miss Lauryn Hill, J. Cole, and My Chemical Romance. I'm an emo baby. Kept the energy high through the marathon of rap, pop, rock, blah, 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 blah. Playlist, power hour, and adrenaline marathon. My most unusual day, the day you floated through 163 ambient clouds with the cat playlist as co-pilot. See, from early afternoon through late evening, you drifted through 163 ambient tracks, rarely repeating, always gentle. And this was mostly for Willow so she can get used to and be comfortable in her new home, which now she's running around here and meowing and waking me up at 3 a.m. in the morning, and then 5 a.m. and then 7 a.m. Also runs into March 27. Was I August? This was the day, August 16th, 2025. I was at the Jersey Shore with my friends. See, I can pinpoint exactly what it is that they're showing me. So the day you turned your queue into the world tour with the 90s pit stop, it's because my NYU friends, like, they don't really listen to like hip hop like that. For that crew, I played a lot of 90s music because we are older millennials. We're in our early/mid 40s. So you set the pace overnight with Kiss Me, Carole King, and then let Chappell Roan and Lola Young soundtrack your morning. Afternoon spun through Kylie Minogue and Fleetwood Mac before Buena Vista Social Club and salsa took over for a marathon evening. Genre hopscotch, all day shuffle. Yes, because all of us listen to so many different things, but we also like similar genres. So like I went with the classics. Fleetwood Mac, I wish I saw them in concert. They were in at Barclays a few weeks ago. He is absolutely iconic because of She's All That. My most liked TikTok to this day is I was watching She's All That when Zach Seiler comes to pick up Lainey Boggs for the prom, and she comes down the stairs and they're playing Kiss Me, and that was like the soundtrack of my childhood. So that's one of my most liked TikToks on my page. So yeah, this all tracks and everything. It's data. Which is a good and a bad thing. And that's a wrap for Spotify Wrapped. We're not cool, but the music always saves me. It gives me life. It revives me. It gives me purpose. It gives me meaning. It helps me kind of figure things out. It helps me go through my emotions. Thank you guys for coming on this journey with me as I relived the last year of my life with music and the soundtrack that has played in the 2025. But as the saying goes, we listen and we don't judge. I make no apologies because this music held me down all year. If I didn't have these tunes, drop your top artists, your top albums, your top songs for 2025. I'm curious to see what other people's are, and I want to listen to new music as well. I love to listen and be introduced to new things. If you guys have another platform that you guys are using, let me know. Because yeah, I'm dead ass about going back to LimeWire or something like that because I can't do this anymore. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.